There we go. I was not even part of the broadcast and I'm talking. See, I have a lot to learn. All right, so we're live. Big updates in the Daybell case today. Hopefully some of you guys will tune in and talk to me. Oh, right, Andrew. Hi. Yay. I'm so excited. This is like my first real live stream where I could see chat and talk to people and I have actual news to give you. I'm kind of bouncing around the walls right now because of everything that's happening in the Daybell case. Chad Daybell has been arrested and he is in custody. All right. I don't know what the charges are. I'm looking that up as we speak. I've got my tweet deck going. I've got Facebook open. Let's see what Nate Eaton has to say. All right. What happened this morning at 7 a.m.? They started with a search warrant at Chad and Tammy Daybell's home. Well, previously Tammy Daybell's home in Salem, which is in Fremont County. All right. And they served a search warrant there. And I'm going to share some images if I figure out how to share my screen. Let's see. Here's a picture. Let's go to share screen. See, you guys have to bear with me. I am not as good at this as Denise was, but I'm getting there. I'll figure it out. Share screen, share application window, share. All right. Can you see that? I don't even know if you can see that because I don't know how to look. That is an image of the search this morning. All right. Nate was in a helicopter over Chad's house while they were searching. You see some tarps on the ground. You see what looks like a drained lake over to the left. The entire road was blocked off with police vehicles. The big giant RV, the crime scene RV was there. There were the blue tarps that you see there were eventually tents that were erected and put up. So they're digging all over his yard. There was one by the lake, a couple by that fire pit thing outside the barn. And that's been going on since 7 a.m. this morning. All right. Now, the police did confirm that this search at the home was about the kids. Okay. This is about JJ and Tylee, not Tammy Daybell. So that surprised me. So that's pretty big news. What we know right now is that just a little while ago, let me stop sharing my screen and get to my tweet deck. Chad Daybell was pulled over and I have a picture of his car. Let me share my screen again. God, I don't know how to do this. Share screen, application window, Google. I don't know where my Google is. Let's try this. Oh, that's pretty. Tweet deck. All right. Can you see that picture? Let me check quick on YouTube real quick. I think you can see that picture. All right. That's a picture of Chad's car getting towed. That's pretty awesome. I like that. And yeah, that was confirmed 13 minutes ago. But since then, we have learned that he is in custody. He has been arrested. I better stop sharing my screen before I share all my personal info. Okay, there we go. So he's been taken into custody. I'm still trying to find Nate's. Here we go. Does it say what he was charged with? Multiple witnesses tell East Idaho News that they saw several officers pull him over about a mile south of his home. All right. And that's pretty cool. That was about 11:30. He's wearing a baseball cap, gray button-up shirt. Actually, here's a picture. I can show you this. I think. Application window. Google. Let's go here. Let's just show you the news. That is Chad Daybell being arrested. Happy day. Happy day. That makes me very happy. This is the East Idaho News website where they're covering this case so well. All right. They haven't released any information about the arrest, so we don't know what he was picked up on. You know, I don't think it was a drunk driving charge or something, but he was put into handcuffs and placed in the car. So that makes me very happy. However, StreamYard, turn that off. Stop screen. Okay. My concern is that what this means for the case, add moderator. Emily, you're a moderator now. Thank you. What did they find in that yard? All right. If they have found anything in that yard that would lead to the immediate arrest of Chad Daybell, that's not a good sign. Okay. I really don't want to watch the news later on and find out that they found the remains of JJ and Tylee in that yard. But can you think of anything else that it could be? You know, if this was about Tammy Daybell, they wouldn't have said that, yes, this is about the kids, So I'm nauseous. I am literally nauseous because I want those kids alive, Oh, it breaks my heart. It really does. Andrew, would you like to be a moderator? Now that I'm going to do live streams, I actually need mods and stuff. I can't believe this. This is real. Denise, what have you done to me? All right, Andrew. All right, thank you. All right, so we got some mods going. So let's remember, here's what I was thinking this morning about the first part of the case. In October 19th of 2019, Tammy Daybell passed away. Now, remember, that was 10 days after she posted on Facebook saying that she thinks some guy in a mask was shooting at her with a paintball gun. Now, that's important to know because let's talk about Brandon Boudreaux, who reported to the police not that long before that he was shot at by somebody with a gun with a silencer on. And he said it sounded like a paintball gun. But when they saw the bullet hole in his car, they realized it was not a paintball gun. So were they shot at by the same person? Quite likely. Were they shot at by Alex Cox? Quite likely. That's where my brain goes with that. And then 10 days after Tammy posted that, she was found dead in her bed. All right, there's no coincidence in this case. This case is too crazy. All right, so we know that Tammy died in December. They exhumed her body because after they were looking into the disappearance of JJ and Tylee, they said something's wrong here. This Chad Daybell person, this Lori Vallow person, there's some problems here. So they went back to look at Tammy's death and they exhumed her body. They have not told us anything about what they've discovered since they took her back out of the ground to figure out how she died. However, in January 3rd of this year, they executed the big search warrant, the first one at this property, the same property that they're digging at today. All right. And what they found, they took 43 items from that property, but they won't tell us what it is because it's all, here, I just wanted to share this image while we're talking. Everything that they found is under seal. The search warrant is under seal. They won't tell us what they were looking for or what they found or what came of the evidence they removed from this property in January. All right, so we didn't hear anything until April. But then in April, they announced that they were investigating Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow Daybell for conspiracy to commit murder, and attempted murder regarding Tammy Daybell. So they found something from the autopsy and the search of the home that made them think these two may have been responsible for Tammy Daybell's death. Right? That's a pretty big thing that kind of went under the radar a little bit. And now we have this. Here we are in June, 2 months later, they're digging up the yard in regards to the children, and Chad Daybell is in custody. This is a big freaking deal. All right. This is so big. And yeah, Denise is smiling. She is all over this. I am so, I can't think about it too hard because I will just start crying like a baby. But I wish she were here right now because she has wanted to see this moment for years since we've been fought. Well, not years. It's only been 2 years since we've even heard anything about the case. So, but she has been on it from day one. So here we go. I'm going to get some more information about Chad very soon, I hope. Stop sharing my screen so you're not seeing the double. Let's update the article and see if there's any more information about why he was arrested. Nope, still nothing. Let's check in the tweet deck. He was arrested, but we still don't know why. Nate Eaton tells us that he was taken into custody, but I want to know what he was charged with. So what do y'all think? Do you think that this is they found the children and they're going to nail him for murder? Or did Lori spill something in jail? That's quite possible. Did someone else close to them? Maybe Melanie Gibbs? The Tammy autopsy, Angel, I think that the Tammy autopsy results came back way back in like December or January. Remember, they executed the search warrant on January 3rd, and they exhumed her on December 11th. So I think between December 11th and the 3rd, they found something in her autopsy that made them go and search the property. Okay. this isn't directly related to Tammy, although certainly them looking into Tammy's death and looking more and more closely into Chad and Lori made them look at this property again in regards to the children. But I think they might have had a tip from somebody somewhere about this property. However, let's remember in January, when you see the whole video of them searching this property, they were outside kind of digging around the snow a little bit too. But the ground was frozen. It was covered with snow. Let me find you the image of the ground at that time. It was literally like a foot of snow on the ground. So it's not likely that they were able to find much. Maybe this is why they're back there now, because now the snow is gone and they can go dig up the yard. That's a horrifying, very morbid thought, but does it not make sense? You know, there's the image of them. They were outside digging in the snow. They had metal detectors. The two detectives you see there are using metal detectors. But yeah, that's like a foot of snow on the ground. They're digging around trying to find whatever they can find in regard to Tammy. But maybe something said, we got to come back in the summer when we can get into the ground. So, you know, that's all I can think of in regards to that. But it's a terrifying thought that that's what they're doing. They're digging today, you know. Let me check some of the comments because I got to read comments and stuff. I have so much to learn, you guys. Thank you for bearing with me while I figure all this stuff out. Yeah, East Idaho News. Let me refresh their report. Still no word about what he was arrested for. But as soon as anyone finds out, please scream it. I'm watching all the tweets, I have TweetDeck going with like 6 different columns open with all this stuff. I really want to know what he was arrested for. Are we going to find out today what they found at that property? It's looking like we might. They know, the Rexburg Police Department knows how much coverage and eyes are on this case. You know, they're going to have to say something. I'm hoping that we're going to get a press conference or, something today, because I really, really, really want to know. Let me also share on Facebook that I'm live, because that would be fun. See, I should be planning this stuff ahead of time. So much to learn, guys. So much to learn. But what I did on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday was work on this Daybell case, because Denise covered it, and she has a binder that's like, I don't know, 6 inches thick with all of the documents and everything that she has found on this case. I don't have that. And believe me, I would give my right arm to have Denise's binder in front of me right now. But I didn't have that. So I went back through all of her videos. I watched all of the interviews with all the major players, looked up all the court documents, got everything together over the weekend. It took me 3 days to go through this, just to pull out enough information to put the timeline together. And that timeline was more so I could get it straight in my head of what happened when to whom. And it was very useful. It was a huge learning curve because I had to learn how to use PowerPoint. That was new. But I learned a ton of stuff about this case. I certainly do not have Denise's level of knowledge about it yet, because there are twists and turns every way you look. But I think I know enough about the case so that when I saw the aerial search this morning of Chad's house, it raised a lot of really big alarm bells, started going off pretty loudly. And I need to turn my Discord off because that's making noise. There we go. All right. So we still don't know why he was arrested. I am watching everything. I don't know how to look up like the police blotter or something for there. It's possible that we could find out from that, but I don't think he's been processed yet. That's going to take time. So, hopefully we'll find out any minute. If there is a press conference. Now, see, all right, here's a question for you guys. What am I allowed to share in a live stream? I know that Denise had said at some point, if it's live on Facebook, you can stream it live on your YouTube channel, because she would do that for like the court hearings and stuff. Whenever they were live on Facebook, she would be able to stream it on her live stream on YouTube. I'm guessing that's okay. I don't even know. I'm assuming there's going to be a press conference. And if there is, I'd like to stream it live so we can talk about it when it happens, because that's going to be a pretty big deal. So if you know how that stuff works, please let me know. I don't want to get copyright striked the day I start doing live streams. That would be. All right, you can share press conferences. Excellent. All right, I will keep my eye on that. First, I also want to say thank you to Bipolar Princess and Emily. You guys have been, as soon as anything breaks, I've been getting phone calls and messages and texts about, oh my God, Awen, which is great because that's how I got woken up this morning out of bed saying, look, they got a search warrant. So I jumped up and ran to the computer and found it out. And now I've got all the stuff open so I can keep an eye on it. All right, checking tweet again. Chad has been taken into custody, but nobody's saying why. He's been led away in handcuffs. That's nice. Lori Vallow still in jail. I'm not seeing anything new yet about why he's been arrested. Justin Lum says taken into custody, but no reason why. Justin Lum on Twitter, who is, let me get you his actual, it's at JLumFox10. And Nate Eaton on Twitter, it was at Nate News Now. These are the two reporters who have been all over this case. All right. So, they are, definitely follow them if you're on Twitter. Nate Eaton has a great Facebook page and East Idaho News Facebook page. And Justin Lum actually has a Facebook group about this case where they show, it's just a discussion group. So one of those good true crimey things. Be careful with that because there's a lot of crazy, obviously. But, All right, Nate Eaton has a video. Can I share this? I want to share this. I'm going to try to share it because this is fun. All right, hold on. A video of someone driving by the road as Chad was getting arrested. Let's look at that. It's on Facebook, so I'm guessing I can share it. Here we go. StreamYard, share screen. Where is it? I have no idea where it is. Let's try Google. Let's go to Facebook. Let's hit play. Can you see that? I hope you can see that, because if I click over to see if you can see that, then you won't see it. This is somebody driving down the street. There's Chad getting arrested. So long, sucker. That's excellent. I'll watch that one more time because that made me happy. Ready? There he is. Look out the window. All right. Chad in handcuffs, surrounded by police. That, my friends, is a beautiful sight. That is a very beautiful sight. So as far as the Tammy Daybell autopsy findings, I want to see that too. But Andrew, what we can really know is that if the autopsy findings were enough to make them launch an investigation into conspiracy, murder, and attempted murder, they had to have found something, right? We can kind of take that for granted. They found something in her autopsy that made them do that and go to search the property in January. So I would not say they're going to come back like they did with Alex Cox and say natural causes, right? Because Alex Cox, what do you guys think about the Alex Cox autopsy? Do you believe that? I have a very, very hard time thinking that Alex Cox died of completely natural causes, So I don't think that's what happened. I'm sorry, I'm mixing my crystal light into my water. Really beautiful sound into the microphone. Very sorry. Yeah, I have a lot to learn about YouTube. All right, so a crystal light cocktail. I am so excited to see Chad in custody. When I first saw the helicopter footage of the search, my heart sank. I got a little nauseous, thinking, oh no, what if they found the kids? And it was just depressing. But knowing that Chad is in custody, that makes me very, very happy. Emily, the full toxicology and everything did come out on Alex. I do have the papers somewhere. Alex autopsy report. Where is it? I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this. This is from East Idaho News. Again, I'm going to share this on the screen. I don't know if I'm allowed to, but whatever. They take the video down, they take it down. Okay. This is the Maricopa County Office of the Medical Examiner, Alex Cox's autopsy report. I don't know if you can read that or not. What I can do is I can put these documents up on Discord, and I can also put a link to where you can find these East Idaho News. They've got them all on their website. So yeah, they have toxicology, they have the full report, cardiovascular, respiratory, digestive, everything. So you can read all of it. It's available here. They're labs. All right. So what do we see here? We don't see anything that looks like, terrible drugs. Acetone and ethanol? Yeah. What? Headspace gas chromatography. Interesting. All right. I don't know enough about these things to know if these were causes of death or what, but we can go through it and we can look at it. Did I stop sharing? Did you see that? Yeah, you can see. I can see on the screen. So that's all we know as far as Alex. Natural causes. Now, remember, Alex Cox was found dead on the floor, or almost dead, by Zulema's son. Zulema wasn't even there. And if you listen to his phone call to 911, there's an older man here on the floor. And what? This is your stepfather. And he's calling him some older man on the floor. That's really weird. The whole Zulema Alex Cox thing is bizarre. She wasn't home when he was found, so who knows what really happened to Alex. I'm pretty sure that Alex was the one who shot at Brandon Boudreaux and shot at Tammy Daybell, even though he missed them. I'm pretty sure that was him. Remember, Brandon also identified a green Jeep driving away from the scene that he says was owned by Charles Vallow before he died. So, the question is, why would Alex be killed? He was obviously Lori's, lapdog doing all her dirty work. What reason would she have to take him out other than maybe he knew too much? All right, so checking up on Twitter again, the tweet deck. Still no news of what he was charged with. Just pictures of his arrest, which are beautiful. All right, if any of you find out what he was arrested for, please yell, because that's great. All right, so what happened today? Let's just go back over it for anyone who has just joined. 7 a.m. this morning, Rexburg Police, FBI, and Fremont County Sheriff's Office descended upon Chad Daybell's home, which is in Salem in Fremont County. Chad Daybell was home at the time and left the premises. I also believe Chad's son, Seth, and his wife live in that home, and it was said that the family all left the property at the time. So, there's that. My Facebook is stuck. All right. So after they left, the family left, law enforcement descended and surrounded the property. The entire yard was taped off. You can see blue tarps and blue tents erected out in the backyard. One of them is by a dried up lake. Let me show you that picture again, if I can find it, because I am disorganized. I really need a piece of Denise's organizational skills to be able to do this appropriately. Go to StreamYard, share screen. And okay, this is the scene this morning. You see that dried up lake thing, or drained lake? That's what it looks like to me. It might not be a pond or lake, but there's one in the tent set up there. Other blue tarps and tents set up around what looks like a cleared area with maybe a fire pit or a well. There was rumor that there's a well on the property, so that could be that. And they were searching it. The entire road was filled with police officer vehicles, FBI vans, crime scene RVs and trucks. And so this is a very big operation that happened all morning. All right. Nate Eaton, the reporter from East Idaho News, flew over the scene in a helicopter and got to show us everything that was happening on the ground. And the latest reporting now is that Chad Daybell was stopped by the police not too far from the home and taken into custody. So, great day, great news as far as Chad. But I think we all need to prepare ourselves, because this is probably going to be a sign that the children have been found. I really hope it's not. I really, really hope it's not, because, those poor kids. But let's remember, Lori said that she thought they were zombies. And the other person that she thought was a zombie was Charles Vallow. And we know what happened to him. He was shot dead in his home by Alex Cox, Lori's brother. So, there's so much to this case. It's absolutely crazy. But let's see. Anything new on Twitter? I'm hoping that we're gonna get a press conference. Idaho police say what? Yeah, no press conference even hinted about yet, but I would really hope. 2 bodies found. Sweetheart, where'd you get that from? I'm checking. Does anybody else hear that anywhere? Oh, this is the news we did not want to hear. But I fear it is the inevitable news. Nothing on Nate Eaton's stuff. Sweetheart, I don't see anyone saying that 2 bodies have been found yet. If you have a link to something, that would be great. Let's see if we can find. I'm going to check Justin Lung's group. They're just talking about the search warrant still. Yeah, I'm still not seeing anything about bodies found. Let's check Nate's page. Yeah, there aren't even rumors of that on Twitter yet. Trucks carrying backhoes have just arrived at Chad Daybell's home. Oh, here's a screenshot. I'm going to share this. This is not good. Twitter. Here we go. You can see them actually digging. There's the tarps laid out on the ground. That looks like it might have been from earlier in the day, because the tents that have been set up are not there in this picture, and there should be one like right there outside the barn. But yeah, they're actually digging. This is what Nate says. Trucks carrying backhoes have just arrived at Chad Daybell's home, and they spotted a canine from the air. So, the idea that they have found 2 bodies is not all that far-fetched. Stormy! Hi, honey. Oh my God, I'm so glad to see you. Oh, Charlene. All right. Whitney. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming in. Bunch of new people. Hi, Riley. Let me catch you up. 7 a.m. this morning, the FBI, Rexburg Police, and the Fremont County Sheriff's Department descended on Chad Daybell's home in Salem, which is in Fremont County. This is the home that Chad and Tammy Daybell shared together. This is the home that on January 3rd, they searched in the snow and removed 43 items of evidence, but that search warrant is still under seal, so we don't know what they were looking for or what they found. This morning when I first saw that, I assumed that this was because of the investigation into Tammy Daybell. However, the police department has confirmed that today's search is regarding JJ and Tylee. All right. So that's kind of horrifying. Chad Daybell was arrested like half an hour ago. Right? He was pulled over not too far from his home. They towed his car, put him in cuffs, and threw him in the back of a police car, which that part of this is brilliant. I am so glad to see him in jail. If you look at Nate Eaton's reporting, there's an interview he did recently with a woman who worked with Chad. She was an author and had Chad publish some of her work. She tells a lot of really interesting things about Chad's character. And regardless of the whole Lori Daybell and the kids thing, this is somebody who should probably not be wandering around in society. So I'm glad that he's been arrested. All right. I'm very, very, very scared that this means that they have found the children. I don't want to know that. I just don't. It's very easy with the craziness of this case to talk yourself into thinking that, oh, well, they're just in a bunker somewhere with some of their crazy cult friends, right? But they're fine. They'll come out eventually. And I have really kind of held on to that. Okay. I really, really tried to convince myself that was the situation. But That's not what it looks like. All right, that's really not what it looks like. We have all of the kids' stuff that was found in the storage unit that Lori has since abandoned and stopped paying for. We have Lori saying the kids were zombies. We have Lori trying to sell JJ's service dog, which you can't do, by the way, but she tried. JJ's not getting his medication. I mean, there's just so many reasons to think that this is not going to have a good outcome for the kids. But I'm still trying very hard to hope and to pray. So if there's more information about what's happening right now, this is just going to get ugly. I'm going to tweet out a link to the live stream just because that's probably a good thing to do too. I wish Paul were here. Paul, hi, little Barb. So good to see you. Let me go to Twitter. Paul having to have a job and work when this stuff is happening is just terrible. Live stream talking about Lori Vallow and the updates in the case today. There we go. That's good enough. All right. Oh, man. Let me show you back some pictures for the new people that have joined, if I can find them all. Open that. All right, I have some images from the aerial search. I have the whole video, but I don't know how much of that I can show and not get in trouble. These are a little blurry because Facebook was lagging, so there's still shots from the flyover this morning. You see this red thing? That's a barn. The blue things are tarps. Look at all these law enforcement and FBI vehicles. I always think that the black SUVs are FBI, but, you know, that's just me. I watch Criminal Minds too much. Here's another shot. We see more tarps on the ground. 2 tents are set up, one by this, what looks like a dried up lake thing. This looks like a well or a fire pit or something. Another shot while the law enforcement digging around. What else happened today? Let's look in my handy folder of images. Search one. What's this? There's just a clearer shot of the search. And you can see this is I think this is the house and this is a barn. I would guess so. But that's where Chad Daybell was living with Tammy Daybell, who has since passed away in October of 2019. So, but Chad is in custody. We do not know what happened. I don't mean to get quiet, but I'm trying to watch Twitter to see if we have any news about what's happening at the home. All we know is Chad is in custody. We don't know what he was charged with, and we don't know what the results of the search are at the home. But it's not looking good, folks, unfortunately. Gulf Coast Girl, there does appear to be something like a burn pile. Let me bring that image back up. Where was it? Vallow. We can get one of these. It looks like it's hard to see. Let me show you the pictures. We can talk about it. All right. There's this over here. It's a cleared out area with a circular thing in the middle. Let's see if I have a clearer one. See, it could be a burn pile, but there's this over here where there's lots of digging. This dark area, that could be the burn pile. You see the tent set up. There's like a frame or a rigging there of some sort that assume Chad had in place. I mean, what's this round thing here? Someone said there's a well on the property. There's buildings over here that are covered. It looks like a little silo or a little shed and a barn. So who knows? You know, this whole thing over here, this could be the burn pile. Right, but it looks like there's a berm here, so I'm guessing that was a pond, but who knows? So yeah, there are some very strange areas on this property that they're searching. And, you know, Rebel Rose, we don't know if they found anything yet. They have not said. All we have is the images that were taken from Nate Eaton as he flew over in a helicopter, but there is no official word. All we know is the search warrant that they executed today is sealed. So we can't see that. We don't know what they're looking for. We don't know why they're back there. The only information we have comes from the police department, who confirmed that today's search is in relation to JJ and Tylee, not Tammy Daybell. So, that kind of gives us a pretty big clue of what they're looking for, doesn't it? Did they find anything? I don't know. However, they did arrest Chad Daybell. He was not too far from the home. They pulled him over. They towed his car, and they threw him in the back of a police car in handcuffs. They have not said what the charges are, but if he's been arrested and they're searching his property for the kids, there's not a whole lot of guesswork left to be done, unfortunately. Sorry, I had to cough. So yeah, this is very, very big news. This is kind of what we've been waiting for, as far as finding out what actually happened. However, no, Mac, hold on one second. I'm going to talk to my son. All right, so yeah, if you're a spiritual, faithful, praying type, this is the good time to be saying a prayer for Tylee and JJ. It's horrifying, it really is. But it's not something that is going to be big surprising. I mean, how many of us have wanted to believe that the kids were alive, but kind of knew better the whole time? And if we look at how many people in the orbit of Chad and Lori that are gone, that's quite astounding. This is not like one person. We have 2 of Lori's ex-husbands. She's been married 5 times, and 2 of them are dead. That's not good odds. Maybe Chad should be glad that he's in jail or something before Lori gets to him too. So we have that. We have Chad's wife is dead. The 2 kids are missing. This is just awful. Now, let's remember, recently we've seen a lot of interviews. We've seen Melanie and Ian Pawlowski. Melanie is Lori's niece, right? Who's very, very much pro Lori, and Lori is wonderful. Lori would never hurt the kids. She said that when she moved to Rexburg, she was even their nanny for a while, but then said that she didn't see them the whole time she was there. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but that's Melanie. Ian, Melanie's new husband, she was married to Brandon Boudreaux. Ian said that he was approached by the FBI and they asked him to wear a wire to talk to his wife to see if they could get information. And he did. Can you imagine? They hadn't been married very long at all. And here's the FBI like, hey, wear a wire and spy on your wife. He's like, oh, okay. So Melanie and Ian, they have mountainous issues. But they did an interview on TV. And when you watch it, it's kind of fascinating. There's a lot of interesting body language. Watch how much Melanie talks as opposed to Ian. You kind of get a feel of the dynamic there. Then we also have Melanie Gibb. Did you all see Melanie Gibb's interview that she did with Nate Eaton? She did, I think it was like an 1.5 hour long video with Nate. And he asked some very, very good questions. But, Melanie, I like Melanie. You can like her when you look at her. And her personality seems very calm. But at the same time, if she was falling into this trap of some of the stuff they were selling, how logical and rational of a person is she? But she seemed like the person who was making the most sense out of everyone that we've heard about so far. She was the most logical. But like Larissa, like you just said, she was also incredibly gullible. Even though she stopped and questioned things here and there, it's like, yeah, I don't know. If you go to Denise's channel, she has a video where she was able to download one of their podcasts, one of the first ones they did, and Melanie is on it with Lori and Chad. And it's like, you were kind of as knee deep in this crazy as they were. Maybe you broke free of it, and I hope you did, and that's wonderful. But you got to take her interview from that lens. You have to watch it, understanding where she was. But she did an interview on TV. So we've got all of these characters in this saga going on TV to talk about it, right? Which is, I don't know, I kind of find it interesting. But I kind of think that they might have served their cause better by staying quiet. And let's also not forget Lori's mother and sister. My word. Did you see that? Lori's mother and her sister did an interview, and I don't know what nice I can say about it other than a lot of things made sense after watching those two on TV. That was crazy. There's a level of crazy in this case that I don't understand. And we look at crazy all the time around these parts, but this is a new level of crazy. The mom and the sister were just on TV like, haha, oh, Lori's the best mother ever. Ha, ha, ha. I'm like, what? And it's like, well, where are the kids? Oh, we don't talk about that. Well, don't you think that would be the first thing that you would talk about? Where are the children? Yeah. All right. I am seeing some tweets now, and this is absolute rumor. It says confirmed, but it's not an official Twitter account or law enforcement. A close family member has stated that human remains have been found on the property of Chad Daybell. Backhoes are there digging, but that is not an official thing. It's not law enforcement. Okay, so who knows? A lot of times these things break, and it is true. But just as often people post this stuff and it is absolutely not true. So we don't know yet. Let's keep an eye on Nate's Facebook page, on all the Twitter accounts, on East Idaho News. I'm staying live, even though I'm saying the same things over and over, because I think that we're going to find out any minute now what's going on. And I'd like to be live when that happens. Yeah, Nate will definitely be the first one. So I've got his Facebook page opening. Facebook is so slow on my computer. I have no idea why. So I'm trying to reload it as fast as I can. I've got Nate's Twitter up and Justin Lum. So, oof. So what do you guys think about what happened today? Do you think that this is going to be a case of they found the kids and that's why Chad's in jail? Emily, I am too, because you called me and you said they took him into custody. And I'm actually working on a video with some of the helicopter footage and just talking about the background of that property. And my phone rang and it was Emily saying, Chad's into custody. Ah! Of course, like, oh my God, I gotta go live right now. So yeah, I had missed it because I was tabbed out of all the stuff working on a video. So this is much easier than editing videos. Oh, feeding it raises a great point. Chad was a grave digger. One of the jobs he had, right, before he was Mr. whatever translated being thing, he worked at a cemetery, all right, and he dug graves. But while he was working there, he had a bunch of paranormal experiences. All right, apparently there was a thief who was buried there named Eddie. And Eddie was a thief who used to break into things by breaking locks. Right. And so Chad told this story that while he was there, every day he'd come into work, the padlock to the storage shed where they had like the backhoe and things would be broken. Right. Oh, this ghost keeps breaking these locks. And he was telling the ghost, I need you to leave. You need to stop doing this. Stop, don't steal the backhoe. Stop breaking that lock. And Chad said that once he confronted Eddie's spirit, then Eddie left the graveyard and he never had any ghosty experiences there again. Okay, so that's Chad. Take that for what it's worth. But yes, if he has experience in a graveyard working as a gravedigger, you'd think he would have a clue maybe to not bury the children in his backyard. I don't know. I don't know. I'm looking at Twitter again. Still only rumors about human remains from the same person. So let's put that to the shelf for now. But yes, Chad was a grave digger, and one of his stories was about that ghost Eddie. So now I have ghost stories. I do. I think I've seen what I think are ghosts and stuff, but I also am not out here telling you I'm going to lead you to the promised land for the second coming. So follow me, ha ha ha. There's a difference between having paranormal experiences and thinking that you are the savior of humanity, I think. So, Oh, yeah, Julie Rowe and her visions. There are layers of craziness in this case that I have a hard time with. Let's check Twitter again, see if there's any news. Nothing new. Nothing new from Nate on his Facebook. I did show you the video of that person driving by as he was being arrested. I'll show you that again because that makes me really happy. Come here. Where it is. Here's the video. Let's hit play. Well, Facebook's not going to cooperate. It's being too slow. All right. Well, we'll skip that for now. Yeah. Layers and layers and layers. We have Zulema, who is, was she a hug or snuggle therapist or something? Lori told Melanie that Zulema could control the elements and stuff like that. There is just some crazy going on. I do have a main line to Paul Emily, but he is at work, so there's nothing he can do. He can't go live from work. He can't even really come on or anything. So, unfortunately, Paul is cut off for right now. But I'm pretty sure he's aware. I saw him on logged into Discord a little bit ago, so he's probably paying attention. But yeah, Paul does miss a lot of stuff, but you know, you gotta work. Somebody's giving a press conference. What? Who? Oh, not about this. Governor Jared Polis, but that has nothing to do with this case. So, I really hope that we see a press conference. It might not be for hours, because if they are still actively digging up the yard, then they're not going to come out and tell us anything for quite a while. They may say they have located remains, but they obviously have to be identified. So I'm seeing a few more people on Twitter now saying that a family member confirmed that human remains have been found. Not sure who that family member could be. We do have one of Chad's sons and his wife, I believe, living in that home. I believe that's Seth Daybell, who does have a Twitter account. And I guess he makes t-shirts for a living, it seems, as far as I can tell. But I don't know if he would. I mean, all I know is the family that were there this morning left the property when police showed up. So who knows? Kay and Larry, JJ's biological grandparents. Man, you know, this is going to be so hard for them. They have been in court since last year trying to get guardianship of JJ. Now, yes, that's because if JJ is found alive, they would like to be able to take him back into their home. But it's also for all of the legal reasons, so they can have the power of attorney over JJ's estate and business and affairs. And they just had a hearing the other day. There was another status hearing in that case. The next one is scheduled for September. So that's what's going on with that. Man, they have been through the ringer on this. But I don't think Kay and Larry would be out giving information like that. They are very respectful of the investigation and have been working very closely with law enforcement. So Chad has 5 sons total before Lori, not with Lori, from Tammy. So I know one of them lives at the house. I don't know where all the other ones are. One might work at the jail, which would be interesting if that's where Chad was taken. But yeah, I'm not sure who might have leaked that information. And we don't hear much about Chad's sons, which is interesting. I'm sure police have interviewed them because they would know the comings and goings of Chad. But let's see. Let's do another checkup on the Twitters. More pictures from the crime scene. And let me show you these just because it's something to share. Chrome tab, TweetDeck, share. All right, there's one image. You can see this brown area. I don't know if that was grassy and they dug it up and that's why we're seeing the dirt, or if it was dirt and they're digging in it. This round thing kind of looks like a well or a fire pit. Who knows what this is over here? Could just be a planter bed. This looks like a drained or dried up pond, or maybe he was trying to build a pond, but there's a big berm around this area, but there's something in there that they're looking at. What else we got? Here's another angle. You can see the brown area. You can see the tents that they've put up, the barn that looks maybe just like a planter box like that one. Fire pit or well or something. Let's see. I guess that's the house over there. And there are some of the crime scene vehicles. Yeah, so that's what's going on at the home still. And that's been going on since 7 o'clock this morning. This one is from Nate Eaton. Again, just showing, that could be a burn pit, and that's what they're excavating. Who knows? It's really hard to tell. But that's what's going on there. Stop screen sharing. There we go. Oh, man. All right, wait. I'm checking up on comments, what they know or think. Yep, prayers for the family. Paula, this is going to be a rough day for them. My goodness. I thought Chad only had 5 sons, but, I don't know too much. We'll have to check on that. As far as I could see when I was doing my research over the weekend, he only had 5 sons. Bipolar Princess, hi, thank you. You're the one that gave me the heads up this morning to jump all over this. Thank you so much for that. Wells have a well house. So see, that's what I thought, Bipolar Princess, that it wouldn't just be a hole in the ground. It may have a cap on it, but generally they would have like a building or shed or something over the actual well. But there are 2 smaller buildings between the house and the barn. One maybe looks like a silo and one could be the well house. So that round thing could just be a little fire pit or something. And the well could be one of the covered. I haven't seen enough close-up images of that property to say where the well is, or even if there is one. Someone said, well, there's a well on the property, please should search that. So that's all I know about the well. Chad does have a daughter, stuck her tongue out at reporters once. Interesting. Very interesting. And all his kids believe the same beliefs as Chad. That's not good to know. Wait, Chad killed his own mother? That I haven't heard yet. Huh. Very interesting. Is Lori the leader? That's hard to say, okay, because Lori discovered Chad and kind of saw him as a leader. If you listen to some of their early podcasts, Lori is very much enamored of Chad and in awe of Chad and just fell into his belief system. But who is behind all of the violence? That's hard to say, too, because we know that Alex Cox is responsible for a lot of it, at least attempting to kill Joseph Ryan, which he even admitted in court and was sentenced for. We know that he shot Charles Vallow, right? Now, those have to have been at Lori's behest. Remember, Lori told Alex that Joseph was abusing Tylee, and that's allegedly why Alex went after Joseph. So, I don't think Lori is simply a puppet, but I certainly think had she never met Chad, she might not have gone that route. But it's really hard to say. But Chad is not, an angel himself. There's violence around Chad. His wife was dead 2 weeks before he married Lori. That's not a good look at all. It really isn't. But when you see some of the interviews with people who knew Chad when he was a missionary in the LDS church, they speak very highly of him. One of them even referred to him as like someone from the Bible. He was incredibly well liked by his peers. Even when he kind of went off mainstream and into some of these more crazier religious theories and stuff that he was putting forth, people still really, really liked him. So, but isn't that what we always see? Whenever we see a cult leader like this, which that's what I'm calling this, you see them as being incredibly charismatic and very likable. Let's look at Tim Jones. Tim Jones? My goodness, no, that's not the right guy. The purple Kool-Aid guy. I was thinking of Tim Jones, the murderer. Yeah, Jim Jones. There we go. Let's look at him. He was incredibly charming and charismatic. So That's how cults are formed. You have someone with this level of charisma and this they're very well spoken, they're very outgoing, they're very energetic, and they talk you into thinking the way that they think, and they develop their cult of following, and then bad things happen. I haven't seen a cult that didn't end badly. Like Charlene just said, all cults end bad. I haven't seen one that had a happy ending. You know, I have some very strange thoughts on David Koresh and Waco, especially after seeing the Netflix documentary. If you haven't seen it, you really should watch. It's very interesting. So I'm still not sure 100% what went on there, but again, that was a cult, and he was a cult leader. Very charismatic, energetic, warm, welcoming kind of guy. Chad was like that too. All right, but just because somebody is warm and nice and welcoming and, charismatic doesn't mean that they're not murderers. So, thought it was strange that her children may have been killed, except the oldest, but Hill's true. Cherie, that's a really good point. Chad has 5 children. Lori also has another son, Colby, who is a little bit older than Tylee. They're all fine. So why JJ and Tylee? That's a very interesting point. Why did she think those 2 were zombies and not all of the others? Remember, she did threaten Charles with things like, if you get in the way of my mission, I'll kill you. That was in his divorce papers. So maybe in some way she thought JJ and Tylee were in the way of her completing her mission. Her mission being to gather the 144,000 and prepare them for the second coming, which was going to happen on July 22nd. So, did JJ and Tylee mess that up for her in some way? Or, who knows? Who knows? But she thought that they were zombies. So, and we know what she did with people she thought were zombies. It doesn't look good. All right. Justin Lum says that a source tells him that any charges related to Chad Daybell's arrest will be in connection to the disappearance of JJ and Tylee and not Tammy. All right. So there you go. Justin Lum is also saying that 2 different sources are telling him that human remains have been found on Chad Daybell's property in Salem. We're waiting to learn more from the authorities. Wow. All right. So if Justin Lum is saying that, I'm going to take that as a very, very good thing. Not a good thing, but factual almost. Justin Lum doesn't report rumors, really. So if Justin is saying that there have been human remains found, I'm going to go with that. He wouldn't say that unless he was pretty darn sure. He did say that there is no confirmation from law enforcement yet. So let's keep our eye on that. Let me refresh Nate's page and see if there's anything new with Nate. Oh, I'd like to see an interview with Melanie and Ian right about now. Go get him, Nate. Get that crazy lady on video. All right, nothing new from Nate yet. Nothing new on Twitter. But yeah, if you're not following Justin Lum on Twitter, he is at JLumFox10. My goodness. I'm just double checking to see if there's any confirmation yet from law enforcement. Let's go to Justin Lum's page. All right, so we're going to have to keep waiting and watching. Madison County Sheriff's Office says he's waiting on the phone. All right, the Madison County Sheriff's Office spokesperson is waiting by the phone. So it looks like they're just waiting for official word to maybe do a press conference, issue a statement. I would like to know, my main question is, what charges do we have against Chad? And were the remains found at the property JJ and Tylee? Now that obviously we're not going to know for certain until they do a lot of testing and the medical examiner gets involved. But if it's a male and a female, you can pretty well, assume. Is there anyone else missing in relation to these people that we know of? Is there anyone else who disappeared that maybe we're not talking about that those bodies could be? There we go. Sorry, I need a drink. Yeah, you don't have to use Twitter because certainly anything they say, I'll tell you. But Justin and Nate have done some amazing reporting on this case since it broke. So, I really want to see some statements from some people, like Mark Means. I'd like to see what Mark Means has to say right now. He is the sole remaining attorney for Lori and Chad. He's representing both of them, which, as we know, true crime friends, that never ends well either. You never share your attorney with your co-defendant. Bad idea. Welcome back, Stormy. Stormy, the updates that we have are Justin Lum has tweeted that he has heard from 2 sources that human remains have been found on the Daybell property, but those sources are not law enforcement. Okay, so, we have no official confirmation, but it's kind of starting to look like that is what happened. But as soon as we know anything, we'll bring that live. I'm staying live for a little bit. I know this is kind of going on long, but I'm really expecting some more breaking news any second. All right, from Nate, we've seen an image that there are backhoes digging in the yard. Chad's been arrested. We've got live video of that. And now human remains found. It's, Yeah, it is bad news. It is hearsay at this point. There is no official word that human remains have been found, although, it's looking like it. But hopefully we'll get confirmation from law enforcement one way or the other very soon. I'm just checking over some of the stuff. There you go. I'm going to share my screen with you. Some East Idaho news. Again, I don't know if I'm allowed to do this, but I don't think they would mind as long as I credit them and link to them in comments and stuff. So yeah, East Idaho news. This is them. Chrome tab. Here we go. Share. All right. Here's a video that was taken by Brittany Chappell, who happened to be driving down the street as Chad Daybell was arrested. That is a wonderful image. I love seeing that. That was great. Let's watch it one more time. That's so much fun. Look at him. Look at that nub. You got arrested, sucker. All right. Here's a still shot. That right here. This is Chad Daybell. This is his car over here. His car was towed. This is his car. Taken into custody. We do not know what the charges are yet. Hopefully, we will find out soon. So, yeah. Hey, GK. Hi, Laura. Nice to see you, Laura. I haven't talked to you in a while. Oh, man. What a day. I was not prepared for this. Last night, I sat down with my notebook, right? And I'm going over, all right, what do I want to do to cover this case? And I said, all right, I'm going to do a series of videos on all of the major players in the case. One on Melanie and Ian, one on Melanie Gibbs, one on April Raymond, just do a separate video on all the major players with all the story that we know about them, right? Because I thought that would be a great resource. And then I wake up to start planning it, and poof, we have this crazy news. Man, this is nuts. GK and Laura, you guys are new. I'll catch you up to date. Hi, Pam English. Welcome to the channel. I hope you like it here. We have a lot of breaking news today in the Vallow Daybell case. So here's a quick recap. 7 o'clock this morning, Rexburg Police, FBI, and Fremont County Sheriffs descended on Chad Daybell's home in Salem, which is in Fremont County. and they executed a search warrant for the property. The family was home, at least Chad, possibly his son and daughter-in-law, were home at the time, and they had to leave the premises so the police could begin their search. Their search is focusing outside on the yard. All right, I have some images that I'll show you when I share my screen again of them digging in the backyard. There are blue tents set up, blue tarps laying all around. They're really, focusing on the yard area. The police department did confirm later on that this search is in relation to JJ and Tylee, not into Tammy Daybell. All right, that was a shocking thing. I didn't expect to hear that. All right. Now, after that, a couple hours later, only about an hour ago, Chad Daybell was pulled over on the side of the road, not too far from his home. His car was towed and impounded, and he was arrested on the spot, put in handcuffs, and put in the back of a police car. We do not know what the charges are. All right. We have not had any official word about why they took him into custody yet, but I'm sure we're going to hear that pretty soon. The current news, the last thing that we've heard from one of the reporters on the scene, is that human remains have been found at the home. Now, Daily Mail US just tweeted that human remains are found at the home of Lori Vallow's husband, Chad Daybell. But that's the Daily Mail. That's still, I want to see that from a law enforcement Twitter account. I'd really prefer to see that than just take rumors. But it's looking like we've come to that point, folks. If human remains were found in the yard, there's really only one logical place to go with who those remains belong to. We know it's not Tammy. We know it's not Charles or Joseph or any of the other people that have passed away, but we can pretty well assume they are the remains of the children, which is the news none of us wanted to hear today. As I said earlier, I was still really trying to convince myself very hard that the children were just in some doomsday bunker somewhere, but they were fine. I think it's finally time we have to let go of that hope, but I don't want to, So, we're going to see. Yeah, he may have had the kids. See, the timeline of this is kind of crazy. We know that last summer-ish, fall, Lori and Melanie Boudreaux and Alex Cox and Tylee and JJ all moved to Rexburg so that Lori could be close to Chad. All right, since that time, no one's seen the kids. The last time Tylee was seen was September 8th, allegedly at Yellowstone Park. And the last time anyone saw JJ was September 23rd. That was his last day at school. On September 24th, Lori called the school and unenrolled JJ and said she was going to homeschool him. So September of 2019 was the last time either of these children were seen. That's the last we know. Now, people have said that Lori said the children were fine, they're just away. But no one's really, said that as far as sworn affidavit type things. Lori told the police they executed a search warrant at her home on November 26th of 2019 because Kay and Larry Woodcock, JJ's grandparents, called the police saying, we haven't heard from him since August or earlier that year. I have to refresh my memory on when they last heard from him, but they were concerned. I believe it was August. So the police went to Lori's apartment in Rexburg with, to do a wellness check to get eyes on JJ. And when they showed up there, Alex Cox opened the door and he said that JJ was with a friend in Arizona. All right. And I guess they talked to Lori too, and she said the same thing. So they called the police back in Arizona, who went to that friend's house, and they said, no, JJ has never been here. Yes, he was friends with our son, but he doesn't live here. We don't have him. And so then the very next day, the Rexburg police went back to Lori's house with a search warrant this time. But when they got there, Lori had moved. She was gone. All of her personal belongings were gone out of the apartment, and she never set foot back in there. So, who knows? I believe they did still execute the search warrant and didn't find anything, that would have led them to believe JJ might not be with us anymore. But, you know, if police come to your house to look for your kid and you disappear that night and take off, that doesn't look real innocent to me. I don't know about you guys, you know. So that's, you know, the last time we heard from them. Police have been looking for the children ever since. They released their first formal statement on December 20th, and then another one on December 30th, in which they said that they believe that Lori was not being forthcoming and not cooperating with law enforcement. That's a pretty big deal. Right? When you're looking for a missing kid and the parents are lying to you every time you talk to them, you have a big problem, you know. They won't let you back in your work building yet. Oh no. Why not? What happened to your work building? That doesn't sound good. So after the search warrant fiasco, the end of November, Alex married Zulema. Go figure, because nothing's wrong in the world. Might as well get married. And then December 1st, we know that Chad and Lori flew to Hawaii without the kids. So, and then of course we all saw what happened when they tracked her down. Dateline was there. Nate Eaton was there. They found Lori and Chad in Kauai in a very posh condo, and kind of chased them down and asked them questions. They wouldn't answer anything. Lori was then served with a court order in Kauai, ordering her to produce the children within 5 days in Idaho. And of course, she didn't show up to Idaho. She did not produce the children. So she was eventually arrested in Kauai and was extradited back to Idaho. She had a $5 million bond after she had been arrested in Hawaii. But once she got to Idaho, they reduced her bond to $1 million. Now, the interesting part about that is, from what we know, Chad had over $100,000 in the bank, so he could have posted her bond, because you only post 10% of it. Of course, you have to have a bail bondsman willing to do that, you know, because that's a big financial risk. And either Chad didn't want to come off the money, or nobody would risk, you know, going to bat for that amount of bond for her. So she's still in jail, where she should be. And her lawyer, Mark Means, the last lawyer she had left, because her other lawyers left the case, went to court in March. Well, he filed in March for a bond reduction hearing, citing new evidence. Right? And his new evidence was just basically that someone had overheard their conversation, because he used the public jail phone to talk to his client. So he thought that should be reason why her bond should be reduced. And the judge was like, yeah, no, get out. You know, so thankfully her bond was not reduced and she is still in custody. Yeah, Mark Means is I believe he's a family lawyer. So a big criminal law case like this, he is going to be in way too far over his head. I'm not sure what's going to happen with that, because if human remains were found on Chad's property, all of a sudden this goes from a procedural case, which it kind of was, to a murder investigation. And Mark Means is not equipped to deal with that. So she better find a new lawyer, you know? And Emily says that Mark Means makes her long for the Mullinator. Laura, as far as you know, Chad was living at this property, and he was there when police arrived this morning, and he was ushered off the property. The family was told to leave so the police could have access to the property. So, but he was arrested not long ago, maybe an hour and a half ago now. Not too far, about a mile away, I think they said, from the home. So, yeah, I'm very glad that he's been arrested. Very, very glad, because that guy... All right, I'm going to screen share a picture real quick. A new one on Twitter. It's kind of the same thing we've already seen, but, you know, here you go. This is law enforcement in Chad Daybell's backyard, digging around the lawn, maybe a burn pit. I'm not sure what that wooden structure is. I don't know. I mean, I've had horses and we have dressage rings and stuff, and maybe, but that's not an appropriate horse jump type thing. So I don't know what that is, but something in Chad's yard. Nate Eaton said that there are backhoes on site that have showed up to dig. We don't see them in this image, but yeah, that would be interesting. And not in a good way. So that's what's going on at the property currently. We have had rumors that human remains have been found. Nothing from law enforcement yet. Okay. But let's look at this logically. All right. If we know that they were searching in relation to JJ and Tylee, okay, that's why they were there, not because of Tammy Daybell. And they brought all of the criminal investigators. I mean, you look at this pictures of the street, the big giant crime scene RV is there. The bunch of smaller crime scene vehicles, at least 20 different black SUVs, which to me says FBI, tons of police cars. So they had quite a force on that property. All right. And then Chad Daybell is arrested after they've been searching for a couple hours. What does that really say to us? We're true crime people. I mean, obviously, this is a scenario we've seen before. What this says to me is that they have found human remains. They believe them to be the children. They have arrested Chad on murder charges, and we're going to hear that pretty soon. If I had to put money on it, that's what I'd say is coming. Is that what I want it to be? Absolutely not. I hope maybe they found some remains of like some house pets, and Chad's just mistakenly, charged with murder and the kids are fine somewhere. I really, really want to hear that. But, I'm not so good at denial that I can ignore what's happening right in front of our eyes. So it's very sad. But yeah, Larissa, if Chad and Lori buried the children on Chad's own property. I mean, how many times do we talk about this in true crime? How dumb can they be? All right, Nate is live with aerial footage right now. Let's go see. I believe if he's live on Facebook, I can stream it, and I will. Let me check his Facebook again. Come on. Facebook is being really slow. If he's live, I'll bring it to you in just a second. Come on, Facebook. Oh, I don't see him live right now. Are you sure that's right now, Stormy, and not from earlier today? I know that he was live earlier. East Idaho News. East Idaho News. No, that's from this morning. The helicopter stuff, that was from this morning. I don't see anything new live from right this minute. Are you sure? Yeah, Kelly Bell, when they put up tents like that, it is usually because they have things that they don't want people to see. They don't usually do that just for digging up shovels or whatever. Art's comment. Art. Chad Daybell press conference on KIFI News in 4 minutes. All right, let's see if we can find them. KIFI News. Local 8, KIFI. And this I will stream to you because if it's on Facebook, I can stream it. At least Denise told me to, so take that. Come on, load. All right, I'm waiting for them to I have that page open. East Idaho News will probably have it as soon as they do. I'm going to get all these pages open and bring it to you as soon as it goes live. Let me check chat. They're saying YouTube. All right, who am I looking for on YouTube? KIFI or let me look for East Idaho. See if they go live. Yeah, the aerial footage is there from this morning. Uploads. YouTube. Let's look for KIFI News. If they're live on YouTube, I don't think I can stream that to you. But we can all watch it and talk about it while we watch it in another tab. KIFI News 8. All right, I've got their pages open. I'm going to keep checking Facebook. I'm going to keep watching chat. So if you see it live anywhere on Facebook, let me know. East Idaho News, someone in chat said, okay. Yeah, I don't want to stream YouTube channels to YouTube. That I can't do. But Denise always said that if somebody does a live on Facebook, you can stream it onto YouTube. I don't know what the law is about that, but you know what? If this video gets taken down, big deal, make another one. No big deal. But I want to know. All right. KIFI News says Chad isn't taken into custody. Live with breaking news is FBI agents, but that was an hour ago. I don't think they're still live. All right. Anybody see any live press conferences? East Idaho News says 3 minutes ago. Yeah, that was an upload of the aerial footage from this morning. So, no, I won't stream from YouTube. I promise, Emily. I will only stream if it is on Facebook. So, let's hope it's on Facebook. I'm sure somebody will have it on Facebook. Let me get Nate's page up. Justin Lum also posts on Facebook that sources have told him that two sources tell him that the human remains have been found on the property, which he also tweeted. So let's check Nate's page and this local news page. Oh man, I feel nauseous because I have a feeling I know what we're gonna hear. You know, and I'm so thirsty. I have to pour my soda, but it's gonna be loud in the microphone. Oh, here's one. The Chosen Ones podcast. Yeah, I don't think we'll watch that. I have a sneaky feeling what that is. Some people are saying they think Lori just got tired in jail and wanted out, so that's why this is happening. I don't think so. I don't think she would have sat around in jail all this time if she could have gotten herself out by producing the children, because she's not known to put herself through hardships like that. Lori Vallow is not a martyr. I am checking all the channels again on Facebook. Don't see any lives yet. Ooh. Paul just posted a video about this. What? Paul's at work. What? Paul, you posted a video. I can't see it. Where's Paul? Let's go find Paul. He did. Oh my God. Paul, you posted a video. Why aren't you here talking to me? I'm going to get that boy. Oh, man. All right. Chad Daybell. Yeah, Chad Daybell arrested. Yeah, I'm glad he does know. But that means he's home today if he recorded that, because that's not work. I thought he was working today. Darn it. I would have called him or something. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Paul can be on this live stream with me. Paul. Ha 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 ha. I thought it was right. All right, I sent him a link to the StreamYard. Maybe he'll show up. That would be fantastic. I honestly thought he was at work, so. Paul. All right, let's double check all the news sites, see if we got a live stream yet. I'm not seeing anything. He absolutely should be here. Paul. Why am I yelling? Maybe he's listening to this like on his phone and he hears me yelling for him. Paul. Yeah, I did. I sent him a text and a Discord link to the StreamYard. I still don't see any live press conferences anywhere. Not East Idaho, not KIFI. Nothing from Nate. Nothing on Twitter. All right, so we're just going to wait and see if this happens. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, Dark Side, I thought they would be hidden away too. You know, and Lori seems so smug in all of her appearances that we've seen. You know, when she walks into court, she walks very smugly. She sits there with that look on her face. So it kind of made me think, well, maybe she knows something. Maybe she knows the kids are safe and fine. And maybe someday she will bring them out and be like, haha, told you, you know. And I wanted to think that because that would be a really nice thing to have happen. But it is looking like that's probably not the case. Oh, Paul says he's here in StreamYard? What? Yeah. Oh my God. Paul.
Hey.
Well, now this is a happy day. I didn't know you were home from work or I would have been screaming at you this whole time.
I just got home a little bit and was like, oh my gosh, the world has melted down.
It absolutely has. So what do you think of today's developments?
I'm still flabbergasted. I mean, it's about time, number one. I mean, we've all seen this coming. I mean, it's just, you know, it is what it is. We all know this is coming. I'm very eager to see what they find on the property. I guess part of me is like, you know, the realness of it's getting ready to sink in. If they're like, we found, you know, the remains or whatever. And I'm going to kind of be shocked if that was on the property the whole time. I mean, I'm just kind of like, really? Like I expected something kind of different, I guess. I don't know. But again, after that whole Melanie Gibbs interview came out, it was like, why is what? This guy is way more off the hook than we thought. You know, why is he not in jail? So, hold on. There you go. So anyways, so yeah, hey everybody, how's everybody doing? So what's the latest, greatest?
Well, what we know so far is at 7 a.m., Rexburg Police, the FBI, and the Fremont County Sheriffs all descended on Chad Daybell's home. This is the same home that they searched in January in regards to Tammy Daybell. Remember, in January, the ground was frozen. There was like a foot of snow on the ground. So they went back there today. But this search, the police department confirmed this was about JJ and Tylee, not Tammy. And that really surprised me. Because I figured, oh, well, you know, they've been working on this autopsy for all these months and the new investigation about Tammy. This must be about Tammy. But no, this is about the kids. That's kind of horrifying. So that took a turn in my head for sure. But what we've heard so far, the latest from Justin Lum, is that sources have told him they have found human remains on the property, but that is not from law enforcement yet. So, you know, that's as far as we know with that. Which is very scary. So.
Oh, wait, Charlene just said, hey, Charlene. Charlene said live press conference she's starting on Facebook.
On whose page on Facebook? I'm looking for it.
Thank you, feeding it. How's it going?
As soon as I find it, I will stream it here, but I haven't found it yet. Where is it?
Hey, Emily. Hey, Bipolar. Yeah, I mean, this is just amazing. I mean, I'm so happy he's finally in custody. Again, I'm just going to be, I can't believe that it's been on the property the whole time.
Hey, Kelly. I mean, the only reason I can think that maybe they're just finding it now is because when they were there last time, it was snowy.
Yeah, exactly.
But, you know, how many times have we seen true crime cases where these people are so dumb and they put this stuff on their own property? I mean, did they really think they would get away with that?
Exactly.
Not a smart person.
Charlene just posted a link in the thing.
Okay, I'm going. I've got to be able to see it on Facebook to do this.
I don't know how that.
Oh, you know what? Who cares? I'm going to stream this. If I get in trouble, I get in trouble. Hold Hold on, let me share my screen.
Hey, Paula. Hey, Whitney.
All right, here we go. I'm going to mute and stream this. Ooh, all right. They
What'd
didn't
they say?
Oh, you couldn't hear it?
Uh-uh.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I might have done that wrong.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Oh, man. All right. What they said was, yes, human remains were found on the property. Yes, Chad Daybell was taken into custody. Period. Goodbye.
Oh, my God.
They were asked how many bodies they were found, and they would not answer that. That was all they would say. All right. So
This is major. This is major.
yeah.
That's so awful.
So it is now confirmed human remains were found on Chad Daybell's yard. So is there anyone else in this universe that we think it could be aside from JJ and Tylee?
Sadly, you have to ask with these people. I
Yep.
mean, you have to literally go down a damn list with them and start marking off bodies and names. We know where Tammy is, so that's just not her. I mean, oh my God. Yeah, I mean, who else could it be?
Right. My goodness. This is not the news that I wanted to hear in this case. Like I said, I really, really, really wanted to believe those kids are in a bunker somewhere.
I know.
You know?
Well, and two, I mean, because, you know, so how much they were just like, oh, they're in a safe place and da-da-da. And they were so cocky about it. You know what I mean? And it was almost kind of made you think, well, maybe, you know, damn, maybe I am crazy. But my God, you know, and feeding it just said a minute ago, he could have been very busy for a very long time. Amen. Because let me tell you what, I think that man is a complete serial killer psycho. I think he's been doing this kind of stuff for a long time. I think that they're going to find lots more victims, and maybe not just simply, you know, murder victims, but, you know, other types of victims, if you know what I mean. And
well, like you said recently, that interview with the woman who had she was an author and had her stuff published.
Oh, girl, yeah.
The stuff that we heard about him, he has a track record of swindling, being a con man, being abusive. I mean, this is not a nice person.
At all. At all. He is not. This is a very, very bad person.
Yep. But yeah, the scenes this morning when I was watching it with Nate Eaton in a helicopter flying over the yard and showing the blue tarps, because at first you just saw the yard, then you saw the one blue tarp, and I went, oh no, and then you saw two, and then you saw the blue tents going up, and I was just like, oh no, this is not good. And now we have confirmation that is what it looked like, absolutely what it looked like. So at least Chad has been arrested. Hopefully that we'll get to hear about his charges. I'm hoping that there are charges that are going to stick and he's not going to bond out tomorrow, you know?
Oh, 100%. You find bodies on the property. I mean, he's probably not going anywhere. I wonder what Lori's saying in jail right now. I wonder, how that portal's working out for him now. I mean, that's the whole thing that's so pissy about it is how, all this BS they've been spewing, and to think, Whitney talking about the Hawaii thing, running off to Hawaii to get married while the bodies are buried in the backyard, acting like we don't want to talk to people about the kids. I mean, really?
Yep. Yeah, you have to stop and ask, do they really believe the crap that they're spewing? Do they honestly believe that?
Yeah.
I have a hard time thinking any thinking person could actually believe all this crap, about being the saviors of the 144,000 and the portals and us. No, it's too much. It is too much. But if they didn't believe it, why on earth would they have done some of the things that we think that they've done, So, yeah, to think that all this time the kids may have been in Chad Daybell's yard, that means they were probably there in September.
Oh, yeah.
My goodness. I don't know what to think about this other than it's not the news I wanted and it's horrifying. And
I mean, I'll tell you what, just it goes right along with 2020, to be quite honest.
Yeah. This has been a year. But yeah, if they have murdered those children, then you know how I feel about the death penalty. I'm usually on the fence with it. Not in this case and not in Gannon Stouck's case. I'm all for the death penalty.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, this, I can't believe it. I'm just still trying to take that. I can't believe they have found the bones. I just can't. See, right now, they're probably obviously wanting to identify stuff. Yo, what if they come? We might have a damn burial ground out there. I mean, we might have, there might be some real crazy stuff out there beyond what's already crazy.
We don't know. If they were willing to kill their own spouses, 3 of them that we know of, Joseph, Charles, and Tammy, and possibly 2 of her own children, how many other people did they take out of their way?
Yeah.
Lori threatened Charles directly and said, if you get in the way of my mission, I will kill you. So, what if they find 10 bodies there and there are all these people that we've just never heard of yet?
Yeah.
I would not be too surprised, which is horrifying. Wait, Linda's here. Where's Linda? Linda, where are you?
Linda. What's up, girl?
Somebody said Linda's here. I don't see her. Why don't I see Linda?
I see her up there.
Why can I not see Linda? I want to make her a mod and I don't see her. Linda, say
There
something. Oh, there she is. There you are. All right. Yay, Linda's here. So yeah. Linda, what do you think of this news? My goodness. Do you I know what Linda's going to say, and I'm kind of with her on this. Denise had a hand in this.
I know, right? I was thinking that same thing too.
Yep. She was like, enough of this case. Get this resolved. Here. Peace. Go there. Find them. And I like to think that Denise is in heaven with those kids saying, I got you guys. So.
And another thing too is, oh wait, hold on, it slipped my mind. Hold on, it was about that. I forgot. Sorry. I kind of reading comments. Oh, the zombie thing. When I was reading that interview with the author and stuff, and she's talking about him doing zombies and stuff, and it's such a weird MO. And what's even weirder is how many people just kind of went along with the zombie thing. I've never heard of such a thing, except in TV and movies and stuff.
Right. Even in Melanie Gibbs' interview, she's like, and they started talking about zombies, which I thought was a little weird. It's like, a little weird?
Yeah.
What's your definition of really weird?
Yeah, like there was some level of normalcy to it when she was talking about it, and I was like, I don't know about all that.
Linda, we don't know if they found the kids. They were searching there today, specifically in regards to JJ and Tylee, and they have found human remains. Law enforcement did a press conference and said, yes, they found human remains. They did not say they were the kids. They did not say how many human remains they found. But, you know, I don't know what else to think. So that's all we know so far.
Matt's getting ready to open the door, so I'm going to be quiet for a second.
Okay. So, yeah, I'll give you a quick rundown of everything that happened today. At 7 a.m., law enforcement from several agencies descended on the home. Chad and others in the home were ushered away so law enforcement could have complete access to the property. They began digging out in the yard. They put down several tarps and tents and have been digging there all day. About an hour and a half ago, maybe 2 hours now, Chad Daybell was pulled over by police. His car was towed and impounded, and he was arrested on the spot, put in handcuffs, and put in the back of a police car. He was arrested, but we do not know what the charges are yet. Law enforcement has just confirmed that human remains were found in their yard, but they haven't said how many or who they think they are or anything. That's going to take some time. So that's all we know now, for sure. I think we can put the pieces together and come up with a pretty good idea of what happened. But man, can you imagine him staying there in that house with the money he had, knowing the kids were buried in the yard? Did he really think he could get away with that? I don't understand that at all. Why was he
I can't wrap
not?
my mind around it either.
Yeah, I mean, why was not in Mexico or Switzerland or something? You know, that's just crazy.
Well, he was trying to run off to Hawaii with his bride. That didn't pan out. Thank God.
Yeah.
She wants
Zelda.
you to forward the exact email that you got from ADP.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to run because I gotta go take care of something.
Okay.
I'm glad to get the scoop. Thank you, girl. This was awesome.
Well, thank you for coming on. It was so. Oh, this
yes,
is what a turn this is. I had Paul on my live.
I know, this is awesome. I was like, okay, cool. I'm all for it. I'm glad it worked out. I got to work early. It was all meant to be.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, after I get this done, I'll see if y'all still on. I'll hop back on.
Yeah, we might be here for a little while because I need to talk about this. This is crazy.
I know, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you take care. Bye, everybody. Take care.
Bye,
All right.
All right. Well, that was great seeing Paul here. How cool. Oh, unfortunately, Paul and I keep meeting up on live streams over these types of circumstances, which is not cool. And Zelda, I'm sorry. I know how much it hurts, and I am so sorry. Know that I'm giving you a really big virtual hug, you know, but Denise wouldn't want us sitting here crying about her. She would probably be crying over this, you know, because that's how Denise was. But let's take Denise's positive light and keep pushing it forward. Right now, if she were here, you know that she would be live and we'd be over on her channel and we'd all be talking about this. This case was so near and dear to her heart. She wanted those kids found alive so bad. So all I can think of that is Denise is now in heaven and she's got them. She's got them wrapped up in her light and she's taking care of them. And maybe, you know, I like to think that she had a hand in what happened today. That would be just so perfect. So that's where I'm at with that. But if I talk about that anymore, I am going to start crying like a baby. So I'm going to move back to the case. Let's talk about this case. So yeah, earlier today, we saw all kinds of video of them searching the yard. I'm looking to see if there are any more updates about the charges against Chad. I'm not seeing anything yet. It doesn't look like they have released that information yet. Excuse me. I am going to try and look on the local police department's websites and keep refreshing those to see if we can find out what happened. If you find out what the charges are, please let me know. ping me in Discord or text me, or you say something here in the chat so we can get it up on the screen. I'm really hoping that it's murder charges and they nail him to the wall. All right. I don't want him to be arrested on something stupid so he can bond out easily, because he's got enough money to take off. He really does. And I don't want to see that happen. This case has gone on far too long. Now that we have Lori in custody and she's not bonded out, let's get Chad in there and let's keep them there until we solve all of these cases. It's not just JJ and Tylee. We need to figure out what happened to Tammy. We need to figure out what happened to Charles, Joseph, and even Alex Cox. Now, I think Alex Cox is responsible for a lot of violence and murder and crime, but I don't think he died of natural causes. I have a very hard time believing that one. How about you guys? Anyone thinks Alex really died of natural causes? I don't. I have a sneaky feeling he knew too much and Lori got scared, and that's what happened to him. So, anyway, so Chad Daybell in jail. Still no updates on that. I'm looking, I'm checking all the Twittery stuffs. Nothing new yet. All right, but it looks like we have an answer to this. Now, as far as Tammy dying of natural causes, here's what I know about that and where my mind went this morning. Tammy reported on October 9th, right, that she didn't report it, she put it on Facebook, that someone in a mask was shooting a paintball gun at her. Okay. Now, remember, a few days before that, Brandon Boudreau called 911 and said that someone had shot at him and he thought it sounded like a paintball gun. But police found a bullet hole in his vehicle and figured that whoever was shooting at him was using a silencer, which made it sound like a paintball gun. All right. So someone shoots at Brandon, then someone shoots at Tammy. She thinks it's a paintball gun, probably using the same silencer, probably the same person. And then 10 days later, on October 19th, Tammy dies in her sleep at this home that we saw today in this footage. Okay. Now, that's crazy in and of itself. But on December 11th, they exhumed Tammy Daybell's body because when they were looking into the disappearance of JJ and Tylee and looking into Chad and Lori, police got very suspicious about Tammy. So they exhumed her body and started doing actually the first autopsy, because Chad didn't have one done on her when she died. So they were investigating her cause of death. And what happened as a result of that, January 3rd, so just 3 weeks later, they got a search warrant for this property. And they went to search there to look for any clues about Tammy Daybell's death. They removed 43 items from the property, but it's all under seal, so we don't know what they were looking for or what they took. All right. And we didn't hear much more about it after that until April, when law enforcement announced that they were changing the investigation into Tammy Daybell's death and now looking at Lori and Chad with conspiracy to commit murder, and attempted murder. All right, so we knew that in April that they were now suspicious of Chad and Lori in regards to Tammy's death. So when I saw that they were back at that home again today, because that was only a month ago, that it must be about Tammy, right? They must have learned something. But no, law enforcement said they were there today in regards to JJ and Tylee, which threw me for a bit of a loop. I really did not expect that, mainly because of the Tammy thing that's been ongoing, but also, who's that dumb to murder two children and put them in their own yard? Who can honestly be that dumb? But we see that. How many times have we seen something like this before? So I shouldn't be shocked. It's quite possible that they waited until today, because when they were there in January, the ground was frozen and covered in snow, and they couldn't do much digging or excavating. So that's how they had to wait until the ground thawed out. That could be why it took so long, or perhaps they got a new tip or something that led them there. But whatever the case, they were there today, and they have found human remains. All we can guess is that it is the children, because I don't know of anyone else who's missing that's connected to them at this point. There certainly could be, there certainly could be other people who have gone missing that we just don't know. But all the Mayer pagers that we know of are all accounted for or already dead, because these two have a history of leaving quite a few dead people in their wake. So, Jetta, I am Welsh. Yes, I am. Oh, you live in Cardiff. Fantastic. That's wonderful. Yeah, Draft Horse Diva, they have found human remains. They have not identified them, obviously. That's going to take a while. But, yeah. And Zelda, yeah, can someone drop the link to Discord, Paul's Discord or mine, or both of them, because they're all the same anyway. Zelda, we all hang out together, and there's people around you all the time. If you come in Discord, you can just type, and somebody will answer you. So just know that you're not alone, right? We're all going through a lot of the same stuff. And this case is just another thing that's happened this year that is kind of pulling the wind out of all of our sails. Remember back in January, I know, Charlene, you and I had talked about this. Someone put a link to the mods, can drop a link to this. Charlene, I have one. Let me see if I have it. Discord link. Give me 1 second. All right, here's a link to Paul's. Oh, Stormy's got it. Great. Thank you. Yeah, back in January, I remember Charlene and I were talking about how horrible this year was starting off with some of the child cases that we were seeing. Even back in January, we had the Michael Wayne Jones Jr. case. We had, I apologize for forgetting his name, that poor boy that got stuck in the fireplace. Remember that? Oh, in the chimney. That was a nightmare. There were so many bad cases just at the start of the year, Let me here's a link to my Discord, which a lot of the same people that are in Paul's, so you don't have to join both, or you can. Whatever, mine is more focused on my weight loss journey and narcissism and all that stuff. But we talk about everything, so join them both. Why not? So yeah, the start of the year with the child cases was just unreal, like stuff we hadn't seen before. They were just back to back to back, one after another. Faye, yes, poor little Faye. Harley was the boy that was stuck in the fireplace, correct? In the chimney, I believe. Gannon Stout case, he went missing early in the year. Harley Dilly, yes, thank you. That was his name. And I remember talking to Charlene, like, this year is just, it's awful already. We need a reboot, and that was January. But look what's happened since, and look where we are now. This year has been a nightmare. It's pushing me to the point where I'm considering anxiety meds, and I've never thought of myself as an anxious person before. I've had a month that I really just want to go to sleep and wake up and go back to January and start over, because I'm not coping so well with it. This was Denise's case. Denise was all over this case. She was covering it from start to finish. She had an encyclopedic knowledge of this case. And of course, I followed her, and I followed all of her updates and her videos. I even did some lives with her about it here and there. But I didn't have the knowledge that she did, because I was like, oh, well, Denise is covering it, so I don't have to do the research. Research cases that Paul and I do, or something else. But over the weekend, I dove into this case and started looking up everything. And yesterday, I put out my timeline video. It took me 3 days of research just to make that 5-minute video. So, there's so much to this case. But I couldn't let Denise's coverage just stop. I can't do that. I can't. This was too important to her. It was too big to her. So I couldn't just let it go. All right. So that's the only reason that I'm covering this, is to keep going with what Denise started. And we all know that she would be live right now, pulling her hair out over this, so that's what we're doing. We're going to do this. But if we have resolution in this case, that is a positive thing, even though it doesn't feel positive right now, knowing that they may have just found those children, it doesn't feel good. But having the resolution, now we can move through the healing process. Because when you follow cases this deeply, you feel like these kids. Like Gannon Stout. I've covered true crime for a long time, and you've seen me on with Paul and talking about cases, and I never get really flustered. Denise and I did a live stream together of the Gannon Stout case, one of the hearings, and I lost it. I had to turn off my microphone because I was just crying my eyes out. I could not stop. Gannon affected me on such a way that I felt like it was my own child, and I don't think that's particularly healthy, but whatever. It just got to me. And after the last week or so, with all I've been doing with this case, now Tylee and Ryan, Tylee and JJ, feel that way to me, especially JJ. I have a special needs son, so when I see JJ, I have that level of maternal need to protect feeling. Whenever you see another special needs child, it feels like that. And I really wanted them to just come home, but I don't think that's going to happen, and it's very, very sad, especially because the reason for it is extremism. It's cultism. It's delusion. Chad and Lori are deluded. They are crazy. The things that they believed are not even remotely valid religious beliefs, and that's why these children died. That is not okay. It's not okay at all. Now, I know the question is going to get asked as this goes forward. Are they going to be able to do insanity, please? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Remember, there is a huge difference between criminal insanity and psychological insanity. All right, you can be psychologically insane, but still be criminally responsible and liable for your actions. They would have to prove that they didn't know what they were doing was wrong. There's no way they can prove that. You've heard all the things that they've said. We have interviews. We have their podcasts. We have their statements to people. They knew exactly that murdering people was wrong. Okay, so there's not a chance, not a snowball's chance in the bad place that they're going to get out of this with an insanity plea. So I don't think we have to worry about that in this case at all. So, I really want to see this to its completion. I would like to see pictures of Chad Daybell crying in his jail cell. That would make me very, very happy right now. I could see that. I'm looking for more updates on Twitter. Nothing new. No word about the arrest yet. Nothing on the charges. All right, I guess we don't have anything new yet. I will keep checking on that. What do you think Chad is going to say to authorities now? Do you think he might throw Lori under the bus to try to save his own hide? What do you think about that? I think he might. And I'll tell you why. The reason I think that is because Lori's butt is still in jail. Chad has enough money to bail her out. Her bail's in $1 million, but you only need 10%. We know he's got $100,000. He could have bailed her out. Why didn't he? Do you think maybe he's going to turn on her and be like, yeah, I can save my own butt by saying she did all this crazy stuff. I didn't do it. I was just scared of her. So I was terrified because she was a murderer. So I had to just be quiet and hide. I have a feeling Chad's going to try some crap like that. Yeah, but the body is in his yard. Absolutely. But he could say, I didn't know she put it there. Duh. Even though I don't believe Lori ever lived at this address. I think Lori was in Rexburg at her apartment where they did the search in November. And then we know in December they went to Hawaii. So there's maybe a week between the search and when she flew to Hawaii. And then from Hawaii, we saw her get picked up and brought back to Idaho. So I don't think Lori ever lived at this address where Chad Daybell did. It's possible, but I certainly don't think so. Vice versa. I don't think Lori can flip and say Chad did. I think she might try, but I don't see how that would work because these were her children. And if she says, well, Chad killed my children and I was so terrified of him because he said he was going to kill me because if I said anything, blah, 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 blah. But her attitude doesn't speak to any of that being even remotely plausible. So I think she might try, but I don't think it's going to work. You know, because she could have kept herself out of jail this whole time if she had come up with that from day one. You know, but she could blame Alex, because we certainly have a history of Alex. We know that he admitted to killing Charles. We know that he tried to kill Joseph, her other husband, Tylee's father. So, you know, and now he's dead, so he can't fight it. So obviously he would be the best scapegoat. But these two don't seem that smart. I don't know. I just don't know. Yeah, Teresa, I do believe that Chad had enough money in property and in cash to have been able to get her bond. However, he had to come up with 100,000, but the bail bondsman still has to provide a surety for the other 900,000. And I don't think any bail bondsman was willing to touch this case. I think that's what happened. Or Chad just said, I'm not spending my money on her stupid butt. She can stay in jail, you know, which is kind of interesting. You know, and remember, Lori doesn't have any money because she thought she was going to get $1 million when Charles died. It was only a day or two after Charles Vallow was killed by her brother Alex Cox that she tried to file the insurance claim for the $1 million life insurance policy he had. But she couldn't get it because, unbeknownst to her, Charles was smarter than she was, and he had the beneficiary changed to his sister, Kay. Now, Kay and Larry Woodcock are J.J. Vallow's grandparents. Right, so Kay was the one who got his life insurance, not Lori, and she was a little bitter when she found out. She sent Kay a message saying, "Oh, I have 5 kids and no insurance, but his sister gets it all. Great." So yeah, she was a little bitter, you know, but I don't think she has any money at all. I really don't. Although she is, well, maybe not as of today, but before this, she was still receiving the Social Security payments that children get when they have a parent that is deceased. And JJ may be getting disability. I'm not sure, but she's still been getting that. But I don't know how much that is. Certainly isn't, you know, millions of dollars. So, but yeah, Charles wised up to her just in the nick of time as far as that's concerned. If only he had stayed very far away from her, he would probably still be alive. And I'm sure he would have a lot to say about this. If I don't know if you've seen it, I'm sure Denise has a video, or I will make one, or we'll put it up somewhere. Charles Vallow filed for divorce against Lori, and he had a lot to say about her religious beliefs, how she had just gone crazy like overnight, how she had threatened him, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, Charles wised up to her and thankfully got it in a legal document. So we have that to refer to. I will try to post those documents in Discord for anyone who hasn't seen them, because it's kind of interesting. Amanda Hanson, what you doing? Can we not do that in chat, please? Let's mute you. There you go. Yeah, I don't think any bond company is going to touch either one of these two. Unless Chad, see, this is why we need to know what he was arrested for. If he was arrested for murder, I don't think anyone's going to bail him out. If he was arrested for, I don't know, having garbage on his property that wasn't disposed right or something silly like that, then he'll get right out. I don't think they would bother arresting him unless they knew they could make it stick. So I'm hoping to find out it's something big and sticky. We'll see. Let's check Twitter again. Oh, here's something. All right, guys. The police, law enforcement, has marked out 4 locations in Chad Daybell's yard. 4 locations marked out with tape and tents and tarps. 4. Well, that's interesting. Who do you think? Do you think there's 4 bodies, or do you think there are just 4 different dig sites? Well, that's a very curious development. I have no idea if that means that there are 4 bodies, or if that means that there are just 4 places where they have found different remains. You know what I mean? I don't know. But I think there could be more. Emily, don't you? I mean, look at how many people they've already killed. There could be a lot more people that we just never heard about. So it could be other evidence. That's true, Larissa. Yep. Whew, my goodness. Denise's channel, I'll give you a link to it. 1 second, pull it up. Denise. All right, here's a link in chat to Denise Rainey's channel. She has, I think, about 50 or 60 videos on this case, including live streams from press conferences and court hearings and all kinds of stuff. If you look in the description of my Valo videos, you'll see her description, which is all the research links that she had. All right, so you can find all those and all the videos. Please go check out Denise's channel. Give her videos a watch. You're not going to find more in-depth information about this case than you will there. So, and let me check on chat. What's going on? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to find more bodies either, Emily. Chad does not have 900,000 in equity. The Rexburg house is 350 max. Plus they were too high of a flight risk. Yeah, okay. Well, good. I'm glad whatever happened, she was not able to bond out. Her reading Chad. Yes, Denise read Chad's blog, and whew, there's some crazy stuff in there. Linda, the press conference was a little while ago. It was very short, like 2 minutes. All they did say was that, yes, they found human remains. Yes, Chad Daybell was arrested. Period. They wouldn't say the charges. They wouldn't say how many human remains. They wouldn't say anything. So, maybe we'll get another one later or maybe tomorrow. We shall see. I did see your comment about Zulema's podcast. I just started looking into Zulema yesterday. I was watching Denise's coverage of her, doing some Googling about her. She is a character. My goodness, the Zulema is very, very intriguing. And we're going to have to look into her much more deeply. Even if this is a sort of resolution point in the case, there's a lot to know going forward because we're going to have to know how this happened and who knew. Did Zulema knew? I would put money on the fact that Zulema knew exactly what happened to these kids. So, we'll have to look at her a lot more closely. She's weird. Remember, she married Alex Cox about a week after police did the search warrant on Lori's apartment looking for JJ. So, and Alex died, and Zulema was like, oh well. Yes, Alex took Zulema's last name. Zulema's last name is Pastains, or Pastains, however you say that. And he changed his name from Alex Cox to Alex Pastains. So go figure, Yeah, Angel, I would like to see Nate go sit down with Melanie, Ian, Melanie Gibb, and April Raymond, and all of them be like, what now, folks? And especially Lori's mother and sister. Let's do a redo of that interview and see what they say now. They were all smiles and laughing and, oh, everything's fine, la, la, la. The press is just mean, la, la, la. Remember in their interview how Lori was such a great mom. Of course she didn't do anything wrong, I would like to see what they have to say to this. So, those people. Yeah, there's not really anyone involved in this case that we've seen interviewed or stories about that seems normal, rational, logical, intelligent, so all of the players involved are really something to look at. So maybe we'll do a deep dive in each one of them. Melanie Gibb with the deer in headlights. She, I have mixed feelings about her. I think she's sincere, but I think she's incredibly gullible, and not a very deep thinker. She takes a lot at surface value and just goes with it. I don't think she might have given more to the police than she gave to Nate. It's quite possible. She certainly was very involved with them, very deeply involved with both Chad and Lori. Closer to Lori, obviously, but, And then we have April Raymond from Hawaii, Lori's friend that she stayed with there for a while, who said, Tylee seemed depressed when they were there back in February because she slept really late and played on her phone all day, which, to me is kind of typical teenager. But she noticed a difference in Tylee's demeanor and in Lori. She said the Lori that came back in February was not the Lori she had known in 2014. So, I'd like to hear more from her. But certainly I would like to see Melanie Pawlowski, formerly Boudreaux. I would like to see her brought in for questioning, and Zulema for sure. I think there are people that know exactly what happened. Hopefully the police will be able to get to the bottom of this one. But we are witnessing this live, folks. This is history. This is a case that we'll be talking about 10 years from now because of the cult aspect to it, because of the craziness to it, because of how widespread Chad's message was. I think we're going to be talking about this for many years because this is another case of a cult gone wrong. All right, so it's a big deal. We're going to have to do a big deep dive into the psychology of cults and how these people get into their places of power, why people believe them, and how to make sure that we never fall prey to these kinds of crazy people. But we'll do all that. In the meantime, let's take one more check of Twitter, see if we have any more information. They're still digging at the home. They found human remains. Yeah, we know. All right. Chad Daybell, the husband of Lori Vallow, charged with desertion. Lori Vallow is charged with desertion of the kids. Was taken to custody. All right, never mind. The way the way they typed it, it looked like they were talking about Chad's charges, but no, that's just Lori. We still do not know what he was charged. I'm going to check NBC News because they have a story about it. Maybe they've gotten word of the charges. I don't know why this is so important to me, but I have to know what he was charged with. I do not want to think he's going to be out walking the street tomorrow. Yeah, I know I have an ad blocker on. All right. They don't know anything about the charges either. Oh, man. How do you turn on reminders on here? I think, do you mean like the notification? There's a little bell icon under the video. And if you click that, whenever I have a video up or go live, you'll get a notification about that. So click the bell. And then you'll know. Certainly, if I hear anything about the charges or once we get more information about the remains, I'll bring that to you immediately because this is a big deal. All right, so I'm not signing off yet, so don't leave. But I want to do one more update. We have a lot. The numbers went up pretty big the last 20 minutes. So I'm going to give an update of everything that happened today. So if you heard it before, I'm sorry. But for everyone just joining, this morning at 7 a.m., Rexburg Police, FBI, and Fremont County Sheriff's Office descended on Chad Daybell's home in Salem, which is in Fremont County, Idaho. They were there to execute a search warrant. The search warrant is confirmed to have been in regards to the disappearance of J.J. Vallow, and Tylee Ryan, which are Lori Vallow's children. The family was home at the time, meaning Chad and possibly his son and his son's wife, and they were asked to leave the property so the police could have complete access. We have video from Nate Eaton of East Idaho News in a helicopter over the property. They were searching in the yard. They set up tarps and tents and had several locations around the yard where they were actively digging. In the meantime, a couple hours later, Chad Daybell was pulled over on the side of the road not too far from the home. He was taken into custody in handcuffs and put in the back of a police car. His vehicle was towed and impounded. We do not know what Chad has been charged with at this time, but he was taken into custody just a little while ago. Now, police have given a press conference within the last hour, and they have said the following: human remains have been found in Chad Daybell's yard. They will not say how many bodies they think they have or if they believe it to be Tylee and JJ. They just said human remains, period. They also say Chad Daybell was arrested, but they are not releasing the charges at this time. So that's what we know. Now you're all up to date. That's all we know so far. But I think, we can put a lot of these pieces together, and we're pretty sure we know what happened here. Now, for historical context, remember that they did search this property back in January, on January 3rd. They had a search warrant for the property. That search warrant was in regards to Tammy Daybell's death. Tammy Daybell was Chad Daybell's wife, who died last October, 2 weeks before Chad married Lori. So they were searching the property in regards to her. They removed 43 items, but will not tell us what they are because that search warrant is under seal. But if they were there in January and also maybe looking for signs of the children, remember the ground was frozen solid and there was a foot of snow on the ground. So it's possible that they had to wait until spring or summer to get back there so they could access the ground. Oh, God, that's terrible to even say that, but it's quite possible that that's what happened and why it took so long. But that's what they did today. They dug up the yard. They apparently are still there and still digging. So, hopefully we'll have more information within the next day or two. But it does seem that they have found JJ and Tylee. But please don't take that as fact. That is pure speculation. Nothing is confirmed. It just seems to me that there's not a lot of other option here. So, oh my goodness. This has been a rough day. All right, so that's all we know. I'm gonna stay watching. Uh, let's see, one more check. FBI, they raid the home. Da 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 da. Hmm. Everything is still stuff that we already know. No more new information. Um, Wait a minute. Nate Eaton is live over the house on Facebook. I can bring you that. Oh yeah, I can bring you that. Let me share my screen. Maybe Facebook will load. All right, can you all hear that? I don't know if you can hear that. Say something if you can hear that. Where'd it go? It's just a live video. Oh, I'm gonna mute that because all you hear is the helicopter. But that was Nate live over the house about 40 minutes ago. So they are still there as of 45 minutes ago, still digging, still looking for more stuff. So there you have it. Please check out Nate Eaton on Facebook. Let me give you a link to his Facebook. Oops, stop. I can stop the video. And where are my comments? Okay, here's a link to Nate Eaton's Facebook. All right, so please follow him there. He's got stuff everywhere. I'm feeding it. He was back twice. He was there early this morning, and then that one was just from 45 minutes ago. But it doesn't look any different than it did this morning, just more digging going on. But yeah, Nate and Justin Lum are the two reporters who are all over this case. And Denise was in touch with both of them. She was emailing them both back and forth. So I have reached out to them, and hopefully I'll hear something back just to let them know that, I'm covering the case now. And if they want to send me great exclusive information, I would be very happy. That would be nice. So we'll see what happens with that. Yeah, East Idaho News. I may have never heard of that my whole life, but lately they're like my go-to news source every morning. So, and they have done amazing coverage of this case. Absolutely amazing. Oh, here's something to show you. Oh my. All right, hold on. Let me share this one more thing. Chrome tab, update. Okay, here we go. Ready? I don't know if you can hear this or not. I don't know. What? No, that's not what I was looking for. Oh, they lied. Like swine. Here we go. This. No, that's from this morning. Well, if you refresh their page, East Idaho News, you see that image of the yard? There you can actually see the backhoe. That's the first time we've seen that. So you see them digging that brownish area that we talked about before. So that's new. Oof, that's something. Yikes. All right, so I will try to get some coverage of that. There, you can see on the screen. Yeah. So yeah, but when you hit play on the video, it doesn't show that. It shows the other thing. So whatever. Oh, we'll figure that out. So that's all there is to talk about right now. I am going to be covering this case going forward. I'm going to stay on all of the legal proceedings, all of the press conferences. I am going to be digging deep into all of the players in this because we're going to hear a lot about them if this ever goes to trial. All right, because all of these people are going to be testifying. So let's get to know them so that when they show up on the stand, we know their whole story. So I'm going to have a lot of coverage. I am probably going to do another video of this just to have it in the series, just with some footage from the helicopter flyovers today, the press conference, all that. So I will definitely be getting that up, hopefully by tomorrow morning. Bipolar Princess, I would absolutely love to go see the trial with you. That would be amazing. So, and thank you, Linda. I'm so glad you came. My goodness. And GK and everyone. As you know, this was scary for me. I don't like to do live streams. I've never done one on my own before. I prefer to make my little videos when, you know, it's all safe and happy. But it was so great to see so many of you here. And I'm just so excited. I am, because Denise would want us all to stay together and keep watching this case like she did. So we're doing it. All right. So that's my live stream. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Stay up to date with me in Discord and Twitter and Facebook, because anything that breaks tonight, I'll be bringing it to you as soon as it happens. All right. So thank you very much. Please like and subscribe, blah, 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 all that good stuff. And in Denise's honor, I'm going to say this. Y'all ready? Before I hit the goodbye button, I'm going to say, peace out, Girl Scouts.